Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Force here with some more StarCraft 2 commentary for you today. We will be looking at a game between xSixSleep and TSLPolt. Starting in the lower right-hand spawn position, we've got Sleep as our red Zerg player, currently the 17th ranked master in his division with 51 wins and 7 losses, giving him an 87.93% win ratio. My god, that is strong. Very, very strong win ratio there for Sleep. But his opponent, no one to be trifled with, spawning in the upper left-hand position, our blue Terran player, TSLPolt, is currently the 41st ranked Grandmaster on the Korean ladder with 164 wins and 73 losses, giving him a 69.20% win ratio. But man, oh man, that is no joke. Being the 41st ranked Grandmaster on the Korean ladder, he is certainly very, very strong, although his win ratio isn't as strong as Sleep's. He's in a higher division, and arguably on a harder ladder. I guess that's not really arguable. Sleep playing on the US ladder, definitely not as hard. I'm just sorry. It's not to be mean or anything. It's just the truth. Korean ladder is much more difficult than the US ladder. It's much more difficult than the European ladder as well. In fact, some people even say the European ladder is harder than the US ladder, placing the US ladder as the easiest ladder to compete in. What do you guys think about that? Leave your comments below. I would love to know what you have to say. TSLPolt opening up fairly standard 10 depot, 12 racks, and 13 refinery. Nothing too crazy here from him. Looks like we will be seeing hatch first here from Sleep as he's moving on down, dropping the hatch rate as natural. That will be followed up with a pool. He actually decides to get an extra drone first, going for a little bit more econ heavy early game. Drone passes the building SCV, decides to not harass him, instead scout that gas. He just wanted to see if a refinery was up so he can know exactly what he's up against. Obviously a great idea. You do want to check that gas to see if your opponent is going one racks expand or not. Also, of course, looking for attachments there on those front buildings. Not a bad idea as well. SCV and drone pass each other. Drone moving back up, and that is exactly what he's actually checking for right now. He wants to see, is there an attachment here? Wait a second. No, he's just checking the expansion. You should check the attachment, though, as well. Oh! Unable to do so, so the first Marine moves out and stops him, prevents him from moving up to check that. But obviously now he knows, in seeing that Marine, that there was no attachment placed down. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been out this early. So there you go. Fully saturated extractor spawning pool, so very delayed. But getting that gas nice and early is going to mean, of course, he'll be able to afford that metabolic boost right when that pool pops. Now, we do have that first Marine coming out across the map, as well as a second Marine. So I'm almost expecting to see some bunker harass. Let's see if he goes with it. Is he going to? There it is. Bunker gets placed down. Now, Sleep is aware of this, so he should be able to move on down to engage. First Marine and second Marine pulling forward. And what is he doing? Deciding not to fully engage? Is he? Yeah, I think he's just trying to bait Sleep into pulling guys off the line, but man, he is not falling for it at all. He said, I don't care, you can do that. You can build a bunker there, no big deal. He's got 8 lings coming through. I don't expect Polt's got to be confused. Like, wait a second, why isn't he engaging this? Why is he letting this finish? What is going on? Well, since he spotted no Marines, he's actually just going to pull on forward here and now engage with those lings. Now the Marines able to sneak on in, and uh-oh, now the damage is going to start getting done here. Both Marines make it in. Oh man, Sleep not preventing that from going up. Really big problem. Not preventing those Marines from getting in there as well was a really big problem. SCV pops out to repair, ends up getting dropped there by the Queen. Finally forced out, but he has done a fair amount of damage here. Resources lost. Polt is actually behind from losing the SCV 2 Marines as well as the bunker there. He doesn't, of course, get full resource refunding. Even in salvaging the bunker, you don't get 100% of that back. So, regardless there, you are going to take somewhat of a loss. Now, we do have a transition here for a Polt into Hellions on that reactor there, so double Hellions. Also, here comes his expansion and starting up that Stim Marine research as well. So Hellions now pushing out, grabbing the tower, going to continue to move forward. Won't be able to do too much damage there, of course, with that spine crawler, but he should be able to stop things like this. Looks like he's letting that one go through. Yeah, he's got 2 more Hellions. He'll deal with that Zergling with those 2. From this point forward, what he's trying to do is prevent any more spread of the creep tumors and stop any lings from pushing out. Now as that spine crawler roots up, he has an opportunity here to do a bit of damage. That ling gets taken out in the center of the map, and now with the spine rooted, forces him back, but he can contain here. Just sits with those Hellions, stops any more lings from going out, so the only scouting here that Sleep has is actually from, oh, Sleep did have an extra ling that he snuck by. I did not even see that. And he is going to be able to move on up and get a little bit of scouting done. Oh, did not want to lose that. He did not want to lose that. Now, from this point forward, he really has no further scouting, and he didn't even see that expansion. That's my concern here. He did not see that. Unless he saw it floating through the air, that is a possibility, because that would not show up on the mini-map here. You know, looking through his prior vision, the floating buildings wouldn't show up on the mini-map, only the buildings that are actually kind of laid down. But still, nevertheless, Polt does have the contain at the moment, and this is something that Sleep cannot push against until he has amassed enough Zerglings to be able to move on out. Obviously, this also delays his expansion quite significantly. We have that patrolling Hellion over there. Nice spread here of these Hellions. So all Sleep can do right now is saturate that main in the natural and start to work up, get some macro going, and then once he feels comfortable, he'll move out. But once more, the only scouting he has from this point forward until he breaks his contain will be those 2 Overlords. So the transition here will be Marine Tank, I'm assuming, of course. He firstly actually had that stim pack research going through. He's going Rax Heavy, and then we'll be seeing the double medevac. So holding off on the tank, I was actually just lying to you. He's deciding to hold off on the tank production, and instead of doing that, we'll be going for some drop action here with the Stim Marines, the double medevacs early on. Can be a very, very potent drop here. We'll continue to churn out those Marines. Some Marines pulling forward to try to stop this Overlord scout. Now Sleep will be aware this is coming. Look at this. He spots a reactor at Starport. He spots no tech lab on the factory. So he's almost certain right now that we'll be Stim Marines will be making their way on through. And actually, wow, Sleep able to progress a few of these creep tumors unbelievably. Oh, trying to force splash damage by engaging his Hellion against those tumors. Wasn't able to drop them. Lynx pull forward. Get a decent surround, able to take out a few of those Hellions. 3 Hellions remain. Sleep really wants to try to get up his 3rd sometime soon. It's definitely a priority of his. Massing up those Lings. Here comes that Marine medevac push. And finally the transition into Marine Tank after the fact, but this can be a very potent push here from Polt. Try to say that 3 times fast. I dare you. I dare you to. No, typing it 3 times fast in the comments means nothing. You have to say it. Stimmed up Marines will be dropping the Overlord here. Vision of the high ground granted from the medevacs. Also scanning, getting a few of those creep tumors. Lings pulling forward. Get it full surround on the Hellions. Able to take those out. Marines drop the spine. We got some Banelings here in play as well. So Polt does need to be careful. Might be forced to lift off here. Is he going to do it? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Lift off, please. Lift off. There you go. Picks up. A few of those Banelings pop. Kill off a few Marines, but not too many. He's still got a sizable force left. About a medevac and a half filled of Marines. Speedlings actually moving to the center of the map now. They're looking just for reinforcements. Guess so. No reinforcements coming. Just the forces we see here. Spire getting close to finish over here for Sleep, and he will be moving into mutas, of course. Speedling and Baneling muta will be his composition of choice. Polt deciding he can no longer effectively do any damage, decides to pull back there with his medevacs. And here we go, finally seeing a 3rd come out from Sleep. Now we've got a 3rd command center almost done over here for Polt. And again, just massing up those Marines and tanks. A little over halfway done that siege tech. Sleep just kind of chilling back right now, not feeling like he's ready to do a Baneling bust or anything like that. I don't really expect him to try that, honestly. At this point, I just expect him to mass up some mutas, and actually here they come. Mass up some mutas and begin some harass with that. Love the Overlord placement, spotting for drops. If you look at the vision here, you can see here Sleep would be fully aware of any drops coming. I mean, he's got some great vision going on, plus the center of the map at the moment, at the very least. Few Marines drop the Scouting Ling, and nice creep spread here by Sleep. Will be delaying this quite a bit as all that he'll kill off the Overlord, but all that creep has to recede, and that does take a few moments. So. Good job there by Sleep. Just spreading off creep is enough to really delay an expansion. Helps a bit, I must say, honestly. I almost like that. I mean, obviously you lose an Overlord as opposed to losing a Zergling, but I almost like that better than the Burrowed Ling, because not only does he have to kill off your unit, but he has to wait the excess time for all that creep as well. Plus, if in the later stage of the game you have Overlord speed, you can actually pull away before even losing your Overlord, so you might not even take that loss. Again, a great way of delaying expansions. Mutas trying to move in 1 turret, enough to keep him away from that resource line. There's 5 mutas. Not that imposing of a force, but a turret is. Medevac's pulling forward, but there's nothing in him. So loses 1. Stimmed up Marines pull forward and gets the tech lab. So after this Siege tank here. He'll have to wait for another tech lab to be finished before he can actually continue up that tank production, unless he does a hot swap with this one, which actually is what he might do. Might just hot swap with this one. Don't really need any more tech lab action there for your bio. Never mind, he's coming out with a Marine, so won't be doing that. I'm surprised. He should. Honestly, he should. He should have just lifted that off, started that tank production again right away, and start to put a reactor on this Rax, because unless he plans to make a abrupt transition into Marauders, which you won't see really until you see Roaches or Ultras in play, then he could actually safely do that. He's got both of his upgrades. Ooh, burrowed. One burrowed Baneling sitting here. But that is actually spotted by the tower there, so that's unfortunate for him. We also have a nice sensor tower placement, allowing him to see any pushes there from the front. He won't be privy to any air attacks there from the side from any mutas, but to be honest with you, the muta numbers aren't that high. In fact, only sitting at 5. He's instead massing up Speelings. He's got 24 Banelings coming as well, so not really focused on that Air Force at all, to be honest with you. Macro hatch in the main, Hive tech coming on through. Of course, the centrifugal hooks are done there for those Speedlings. We'd like to see another expansion, and look at that. Sleep now coming down here with his going to be 4th mining base. Scan, check in the main, does see that the Hive is coming through. So he knows right now that Sleep is moving up into that Hive tech. And with that, we could see the adrenal gland upgrades for those Speelings. Again, we are seeing a very Speeling heavy force here for Sleep. He could, of course, also just transition straight into Brew Lords, although without any fungal growth action, I would be concerned there for him. Just relying on Speelings and Banelings would be a concern. But let's keep an eye there on what happens after the Hive. Also want to take a quick look at upgrades. 2 armor, 2 weapons right now here for Sleep. Also working up some air attack. Polt is 1-1 with the 2-2 coming on through. 2 weapons almost done. Also working up the vehicle weapons one. That's, of course, going to be extra damage there for those siege tanks. A couple more racks get placed down, and Polt also preparing to move into a 4th as he's got his 3rd up and running right now. So pretty much Speedling, Baneling, very, very few mutas. In fact, I think he still only got the 5. Yeah, only has the 5. Now pushing forward right now, Polt trying to break down some of these creep tumors here. He's planning his big engagement now with those creep tumors. Sleep was able to see the force that was coming. Polt's getting map control at the center of the map. Scans down, dropping some more tumors. Nice spread here as we've got Speedlings and Banelings in multiple positions. Beautiful for flanking action. And we will be seeing Polt try to push onto this expansion. Again, start to see mobilization. Speedlings and Banelings coming from all directions. And Polt's about to get surrounded here from multiple sides. Speedlings and Banelings pulling forward, going straight for those Marines. Speedlings trying to take out the tanks. Banelings taking out the bio, and my gosh, Polt in the center of the map gets mopped up there. As Sleep was very, very Speedling, Baneling heavy, able to get a full surround on that push and do tremendous amounts of damage. He's continuing up this aggression, now moving up into the 3rd. Baneling should go for those SCVs. That'd be fantastic. Obviously, taking out the threat of Marines is going to be a high priority as well. A little Baneling split action going on there. Sleep doing a great job. Stemmed up Marines are still a concern, though. And without any more Speedlings and Banelings, he is forced to push back. Only a few more Banelings here. Stemmed up Marines going to continue to chase him. More Speedlings in the center map. That was very nice engagement there for Sleep. You can see how far behind right now Polt is in terms of resources lost. And it's going to be a major concern. Look at those idle lings there. What are they there for? Well, they're not there by accident. They're actually there to try to stop any drops from being that effective. That's my assumption, at least. And yeah, he's got them actually at all expansions. So this is his main base, well, except for this expansion, but he's got the one to the main to defend this one as well. Point is that he's got lings to defend against drops. Not a terrible idea. I'm sure he could have used those in that engagement, although I'm not sure if they were built by that point. If they were in play. Gonna pull forward and try to delay this expansion. Siege tank line plus some stemmed up Marines prevent that from doing too much damage. Transition here is into Ultras. Speedling's gonna pull forward and just, yep, there they go. They sacrifice themselves to kill the expansion in the center of the map. We've got that transition to Ultras. Massive upgrades, 3-3 upgrades. Plus, of course, we've got the upgrade for the Ultralists, giving them that extra armor. My gosh, I am not sure that he knows about this. I'm not sure that he knows about an Ultralist. Yeah, he does not. He has no idea Ultralists are going to be coming into play. There it is, though. Scan right on top of the Ultras. He sees it now. 2 tech labs go down immediately. Those are going to be on racks, and yes, they are. That is, of course, for Marauders. I mentioned earlier in the game, you don't really see Marauders in this matchup unless we see Roaches or Ultras in play. And now spawning those Ultras, the tanks really aren't enough, and he felt the need to go up for Marauders. Not a bad idea, I must say. few infestors in play as well. Also the greater spire. Scan going down there for a Polt, allowing him to kill off some of those creep tumors. That is, of course, a great thing. A couple of Marines here prepared to drop over in this position. Looks like that hasn't happened yet. Those are going to get met by some speedlings here. Have all these forces in the center of the map. There's a whole lot about to go on. I can feel it now. Lifting up with those Marines. Sleep kind of spreading his forces, waiting to engage. The medevac's forced all the way back. And here we go, pushing forward there with his ultras. Fungal growth going down. A lot of that bio as well. Some of that tank. A few speedlings pulling up from that direction. Just a few banelings left. They get stimmed down though before they get too close. Ultras pushing forward, trying to break the line. Stimmed up Marines plus tanks doing as much damage as possible with these fully upgraded ultras at 5 armor and 3 weapons upgrade, tearing through the tank line. Continuing on through, taking out the rest of Polt's forces, and Polt is in trouble right now. These are very low though, and target fire a few of them down. There's only one at full health. Everyone else is very, very low, but they continue to do massive amounts of damage. We got 26 speedlings as well as 3 more ultras also planned. Pulling back. Look how long it takes those Marines to even kill that low health one. He's gonna probably snipe off these two. No, doesn't manage to. Some speedlings provide a buffer. I don't know why he didn't micro back the low ultras and put the healthy ultra in front, but whatever. What can you do? What can you do about that, huh?
Mineral field depleted.
That was a very, very impressive push there from Sleep, and taking out a majority of Polt's forces in the center of the map. Now we're starting to see that transition into Marauders. The problem with the Marauders, though, is that they are terrible against Speedlings. So the Speedlings move on up, sweep against the Marauders as well as those tanks. And the Ultras and Speedlings now continue to push forward. We got that transition here into Brewlords as well, but we won't even see that coming into play as Polt calls the GG. Alright, my friends, thank you so much for watching. Great play this game by Sleep. I must say, fairly impressive. This engagement specifically, we see him do a phenomenal job of taking out all of Polt's forces in the center of the map. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks again, guys. Keep watching and keep owning.